NFL saying that this isn't about being against anyone. It's about him being for honoring our flag. Here to discuss, CNN political commentator Simone Sanders, Mark Lamont Hill, Ben Ferguson, and Sir Michael Singleton. So, Mark, I'm not sure if you saw the start of the show tonight, but why is the president and the administration conflating this to some sort of anti-patriotic flag, anti-military thing? That's not what this is about.
No, it never has been about that. You know, this was an attempt to call for justice, to put a spotlight on the suffering of vulnerable black and brown people, but somehow it has morphed into an attack on the flag, and the president has decided that he, along with many other people, can determine how people protest, what quality protest looks like, and what patriotism looks like. And that's something that's very troublesome, particularly in the long in American history, which is a long tradition of trying to tell black folk how to respond to injustice.
Well, what's interesting is that if you saw Jason Carroll's piece before, Alejandra Villanueva, people see what they want to see in that. If you look at if you listen to the people, some people saw, oh, he was great, he was standing up. Yet he is apologizing, saying, I left my teammates behind.
Right.
I did not show unity. So, is this like a racial sports Rorschach test?
That's exactly what it is. You know, black people saw resistance. Other people saw a lack of patriotism with Kaepernick. When it comes to Villanueva, same thing. Some people saw somebody standing up against those evil communist, football players. Other people saw a guy who got stuck in a tunnel. You know, people see what they want to see. This happens with OJ. This happens with any racial issue in America. We see it along very different lines, and those lines are often drawn.
He said it's not about race. He said it's not about race, Sir Michael.
Well, look, I mean, I think this indicates that how with different ethnicities, we all see things through different lenses. What I am most concerned about with President Trump, particularly as a conservative, is that I recognize when one is running for office, I get it. You play to those partisan lines. But once you get elected, you represent everybody. And I know we continue to drive this message home over and over again, but I am so disappointed. I'm so embarrassed by the president because as a conservative, how can I go to other African Americans and say, consider the platform of conservatism, or any minority group for that matter, when the president of the party that I belong to constantly, consistently, time and time again, divides the country? For Republicans, at some point, I think more of them have to speak up and say, Mr. President, you were elected to do a job. We're not focused on any of the issues that impact people day to day because the president feels it's necessary to get in the middle of these cultural wedged issues. Stay away from them. Your history on these issues is horrific. It's horrible. Focus on what matters: tax reform, health care, these natural disasters, foreign policy, i.e. North Korea, Iran. Those are the things that Donald Trump was elected on. He was not elected to focus on cultural wedge issues. And every time he does, he hurts himself.
Who didn't hear? Go ahead.
So I agree with the majority of what quote-unquote wedge issue. We can't ever get past it. And the second thing I'll say is Donald Trump has been a racist. He was the person that pioneered the racist birther movement. He came to political prominence by questioning and othering the first African-American president of the United States. The Republican Party knew exactly who he was and embraced him anyway.
Well, Simone,
so this isn't new.
No, Simone, I actually agree, and I think my party does share some blame here. You know, when Donald Trump ran for president as a candidate, I wrote several articles on him, including the one that ultimately got me fired. And I had many, many concerns about his candidacy that I had hoped once he became president, those things would change. They did not change. The Republican Party saw with their own eyes revealed to be flaws, serious flaws within this person. And those things haven't changed because Republicans have opted for quote-unquote political gains that they thought were going to be expedient, which we have not seen. Yeah. And for whatever reason, they don't say anything. This is bigger than party. This is not Republican. This is not Democrat. This is not black. This is not white. This is about this country. And if people don't begin to speak up, particularly leaders, and lead us in a direction that unites us, what are we to say to the next generation?
You're talking about conservatives, though, right? That need to speak up?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
Don, absolutely.
Ben, he's talking to you.
All right, good. Now, finally, I got to hear all that, and so I'll actually tell you the other side of this for a second. I hope that you all will actually listen to the point that you're completely missing. The President of the United States of America criticized NFL players who are disrespecting the American flag, and a lot of people say, "Oh, it's bigger than that." Let's be clear.
It's not
a
about
lot
the
of
flag,
people
Ben.
who were protesting yesterday.
Ben.
Listen,
No,
Don,
no,
listen to at least what I'm saying.
I'm just going to tell you.
No,
hold
this
on.
is my
I'm going to let you talk.
perspective.
I'm telling
this is
you,
my
it's
perspective.
not
there's
about
four
the
other
flag.
people that are saying this, and no one got interrupted.
Listen,
For me,
but I want
it
to tell you
is.
this.
So
Listen.
let me give my point.
No, not if you're going to spread a falsehood. This is not about the flag. Colin
it's an
Kaepernick has said it's
opinion.
not about the flag. People are telling you it's not about the flag. That's what the president is saying because they want to frame it that way.
Let me know when you want to hear the other side.
Okay, well, I'll hear.
If you don't want to hear it, then let me at least explain it.
I want to hear the truth.
Okay, I didn't even got
I want to
my
hear the
point
truth,
out yet.
Ben. Here's
listen
here's
to
Shepard
it.
Smith from Fox News earlier today.
It's very clear that for his base, this is the red meat of all red meat because they're able to reframe this. They're able to say, oh, they're attacking the national anthem, they're attacking the troops, they're attacking the flag. None of which they're doing. They're not doing any of that. They're upset about racial injustice in the country, and they're upset about the things that the president has said. And yet he's able to turn it around for his base. Isn't this all a play to his base? And could it possibly be so that they don't notice there is no health care and North Korea is the biggest mess since the Cold War?
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I strongly agree with Shepard Smith, and I think that's a conspiracy theory. So I'll go back to my original point. The point here about yesterday is a lot of the players that were out there protesting, let's be clear, were not involved when Colin Kaepernick was doing this a year ago. A lot of them got involved because they don't like Donald Trump. So yesterday, for all of them, was not about police brutality. It was about not liking Donald Trump, and that's why they got involved yesterday. Second point about this is, I have no problem with people protesting whenever they want to protest, but there are consequences to your action. My real problem is not with the players. My problem is with the NFL. The NFL is an organization that obviously really doesn't have a soul on any issue. They disrespect the flag, but they want to have the flag out there to play to the base of their fans that are actually very patriotic people. They also claim they're going to stand next to the players, but they also stand next to the players that beat their wives and beat their girlfriends and help them cover it up.
What is this idea that African Americans are not patriotic because they're protesting? That's absolutely absurd to me.
I didn't say anything about.
That's what you're insinuating, Ben. That is what you're insinuating.
About racism. No, I'm not.
Let him finish, Shamar.
There are white people involved in the protests. There are white people involved in the protest here. This does not have to always be about race.
I'm not making it about race, Ben.
This is absolutely about black people who have been met with injustice in this country. Yeah. This is about the fact that black and brown people are being targeted, are being killed, losing their lives in police custody, and then the officers are walking free. This is about the fact that Trayvon Martin was gunned. Like, no, this is absolutely about race, and that's why Colin Kaepernick took a knee. And so when you have the current president of the United States that inserts himself into the conversation,
why don't you call Colin Kaepernick and tell Colin Kaepernick that if this is what it's about, why would you wear a T-shirt supporting Fidel Castro, who's only in power and his family's in power because of brutality against people? He used the police to be brutal and to shut people up and to kill them, and they disappear and they go to prison, and political dissidents. He wore a T-shirt honoring
We can have a whole conversation about Cuba, but I will tell you about black people.
Let him make his point.
Second thing is this. Colin Kaepernick, if you actually don't lecture me, go talk to Colin Kaepernick and say, hey, Colin, don't be an idiot. Actually go out there and register to vote and be involved. If you're going to be a leader, then maybe register to vote.
Well, wait a minute, Ben. Outside of that talking point, Ben, wait a minute. As another conservative, outside of that talking point that he isn't registered to vote, Colin Kaepernick has invested a lot of money and a lot of time into the African American community. Ben, wait a minute, because I'm not going to allow you to sit on this TV and spread falsehoods and disrespect someone who has done a lot of things. Wait a minute, that has done a lot of things for people who look like me, who are younger. Wait a minute here. A part of the issue is that when African Americans are raising concerns about things that we believe are legitimate, some people in this society do not listen. That is a problem, Ben. You and I share many things in common as far as philosophical ideology is concerned. So if I, as an African-American man, am telling you, my friend, who happens to be a Republican, these are issues that concern me, please listen. Join me to correct these issues, and you ignore them, that is fundamentally problematic.
I'm not ignoring it. If you want to go out there and protest, that's fine, but I'm telling you right now, the NFL has completely misunderstood the situation. There are certain things in life, and I'll give you a great example. I'm going to use
Ben,
the NFL
hold
players.
on, Ben.
The Baltimore
NFL
Ravens
support-
players
I
went
wanna
over to
hear.
Wembley
People are
Stadium.
talking like the
Let me
NFL
finish
has
this
been
point.
supportive.
Let me finish this
I
point.
let you talk a
Again,
lot,
it's
Ben.
4 against 1. Can I not at
No,
least
but Ben,
let
you've
me
been
say
talking
the
for a
one thing about
long
Wembley
time.
Stadium?
I've let you.
I ain't said a word.
I'm
So-
defending because I got 4 people coming
let
after
you
me.
talk longer than everybody else because it's 4 against 1. But make your point. I got to get off the air soon. Hurry.
All right,
Yeah, I
when
wanna
you look
talk
at the
too.
players, even the players for the Baltimore Ravens who went overseas and kneeled down as they are representing
I got 10
United States of
seconds
America
left,
in the
Ben.
National
Okay.
Football League, stood up for God bless
Ben,
the Queen
here's the part.
and God
You
save the
you
Queen.
missed my opening
That's
statement.
called class, and
Ben,
they didn't have it towards
you
America.
don't get to tell people how to love this country and how to express
I'm not
themselves.
telling them to. I'm
Yes,
just
you
saying
are.
I'm not
You're-
going to support
you
them
just
and give them my
said
money.
this is how
You tell them how
No,
not
I'm not
to.
gonna
You have that
support
right,
the
Ben.
NFL.
You have that right
That's
not to
your
watch.
prerogative.
You
You
have
can't
that
do
right
that.
not to
I do.
That's
give your money.
un-American. Mark, go ahead. You get the last word.
No, it's not. I can say I'm not going to give
No,
my money to the NFL because
Yeah,
guess
that's
what?
your right.
I'm not going to support an organization
Okay,
that's
we're
not
done. Mark,
American.
quick.
I have
10
that
seconds.
right.
Mark, go ahead.
You absolutely can do that, Ben. But I think the point here is that much of the conversation from the president and from other people has been telling black people how to protest, that their protests are inappropriate, and somehow and black people have to resist. Can I just say shout out to Shermichael for showing some black?
I know,
You
right?
need to call your boy Paris Denard. Call Paris
Especially
Denard
that little
up. You need to call
cultural
Paris
wedge
Denard
issue.
up, man. Y'all need to have a little one-on-one.
Thank you all. Great conversation. We appreciate it. I'll see you next time. That's it for us
Don.
tonight. Thanks for watching. I'll see you right back here tomorrow.